Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from KeyboardImprov.com, and welcome to day 23 of our 31-day Jazz Piano for Beginners Workout Challenge. And in today's lesson, we're going to be working on the 1-6-2-5 chord progression in the key of F. We've been leading up to this by doing it in little pairs of chords, but we're putting it all together today. And this is the kind of thing that's really going to be transferable to jazz standards when you're playing, tunes like Autumn Leaves or There Will Never Be Another You or Jazz Blues or whatever, to actually be able to keep a chord progression going in your left hand while you improvise, because it's sort of like it's like we're juggling, right? We're learning how to improvise. That's like juggling. And then the chord changes, having to do it through a set of chord changes is sort of like walking a tightrope as we're juggling. It's like, okay, I can juggle, I can improvise on one chord, but now I'm doing it walking a tightrope, right? So, I'm not an acrobat, but if I was doing that, I would think they'd practice just 1 foot off the ground. So when you fall, at first you just land on your feet, right? You're going to fall about 1,000 times. So we're going to mess up about 1,000 times, and you have to do that. So sometimes when I'm teaching young kids, 8-year-olds how to improvise, they'll make a mistake and they'll say sorry. I'm like, no, don't say sorry. I have them say whoopsie daisy instead, but I'll say don't say sorry, because in order to really become professional or get mastery of this, become a great pianist, you're gonna have to make 1,000 mistakes, maybe even that same mistake 1,000 times. So I say, congratulations, now you only have 999 to go. And they just kind of look at me like, oh, what's this guy talking about? But it's really true. So we're going to reverse the usual process, even the process we've been doing, because it's good to come to things from different angles. I'm going to set this for 20 minutes. And basically, the usual method is we learn how to improvise melodies and solos with our right hand. And then, okay, now I'm going to try to play the chords with my left. We're going to reverse that. We're going to put the emphasis, the priority on the left hand. So let's just review the chords. So the 1 chord in F is F major 7th. Give it a try with your right hand. F, A, C, E. You can arpeggiate it. Just get to know it. And then we're going to D minor 7, the 6. D, F, A, C. And if you wanted to, you could have played that in an inversion just by taking that top note of F and moving it down to a D, from E to a D. And then we go to G minor 7, the 2 chord, G, B flat, D, F, and then the C, 7, C, E, G, B flat. So let's just try all those chords together, one at a time. 1-6-2-5, key of F, and here we go, F major 7, and now D minor 7, G minor 7. Root position is fine. C7, 2, again, and D minor 7. Here's G minor 7. C7. Keep that going. Right? It's like a little circle. It comes back. That's G minor, and now C7. We start at home with the tonic. D minor, we're sort of going away from home. G minor 7, we start coming back. C7, the dominant chord, pushes us back home. Yeah. So remember from our previous lessons here, you can play different rhythms. Charleston, and mix it up, some long, some short. I'm going to solo while you comp. 1, 2, with your right hand, F, and D minor 7. doing that over and over again, it becomes part of us. Muscle memory, sense memory, intuition, internalizing it, however you want to think about it. It reminded me of a story that my piano teacher, when I was in the 1980s, I studied with Billy Taylor, and he was the house pianist at Birdland, the legendary jazz club in the 50s. There's a new Birdland, but this is the old one. And he told me that they'd have, you know, the jam sessions, like, I don't know if it was every night or once a week or whatever, but they had some jam sessions where everybody could come in and sit in. And he was the pianist, you know. And so he said they would do I got rhythm changes, which are these fast, you know, it's every 2 beats, you know, that's a major part of the form of rhythm changes. It's the song, the chords for I Got Rhythm. And he said it would go on for 20, 25 minutes. And the way he put it, it's funny because Billy, he was a very positive person and didn't really say much that was against anybody. But he said that all these tenor sax players would just line up, play for like 10 choruses through, and then like the tune would be over and nobody even gave him a piano solo. You know, and he's like, you know, he got really sick of playing rhythm changes, but you know what? He got really good at playing rhythm changes because he was doing this forever, right? Probably in the key of B flat. So that's why we're doing this, to emulate that kind of experience. Let's try it with our left hand now. You can do any rhythms you want. 1, 2. You know what to do. Just your left hand. Let's play the same voicing in both hands. Whatever you play, or position, or an inversion, or 2 or 3, whatever you do, you're going to play the same voicing in both hands. Okay? Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. that sounds great, playing the same voicing in both hands. Or you might say, oh, that's not the real way to comp. I've got to play the 3rd and 7th in the left hand and the 5th and the 9th in the right hand, these rootless voicings, A and B voicings, and whatever. So here's the real deal. Let's say you went to a jam session and you weren't really sure how to comp, but there was a bass player, maybe a drummer, saxophone, guitar, trumpet, vocalist, guitarist, whatever it was. And somebody was taking a solo and you're playing a tune and it had these chords, or any chords, and you hadn't really worked out fancy voicings. And you just did this. And you played the same chord voicing in both hands. Not even any ninths, just 7th chords. What do you think's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. It's going to sound great because the more important things are that you're playing in tempo and you're able to listen to everybody. You're not overly stressed or trying to think that you can't listen, and you're reacting and you're playing a nice, solid accompaniment. And the sax player is going to love it because he or she can jam over it and you're supporting them, right? Or the vocalist or whoever. Now, maybe someone who's very well-meaning and nice will say, that sounds pretty good, but you might want to look into some fancier voicings. Yeah, okay. Start doing that too. But don't feel that you have to do it to sound good, because you don't. This is going to sound better than if you're trying to play something else and you're messing up the rhythm, right? And things like that. Maybe someone even who's not so sensitive or nice might say, oh, you're just playing those voicings, why don't you learn some better voicings or something like that? And you know what? You sort of take it, oh yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But they're still liking it better than if you had played the other voicings and couldn't really cut the tempo, play the tempo or something like that. And if anybody's a real jerk, say, that's just something I heard Herbie do. Because they can't argue with that. Because Herbie Hancock probably did that at some point too. So in any case, I think I spent 2 years playing like that and loving it and playing in groups and jamming with my friends, and then I started learning more voicings. People start with the fancy voicings too soon, as I've been saying probably every video, and they just get they get frustrated. And so anyway, so this is a great way to start jamming. All right, now we're going to bring in the right hand soloing. Let's just play the left hand again alone, just the chords. Very, very sort of simple rhythms. 1, 2, 1, 2, left hand. Till it starts to feel natural. Here's the hard part. We're not going to play anything hard, but the mental game here, the mental challenge is going to be really difficult. So we're going to play the minimum in the right hand. That's not going to interfere with that, because for most people, if you're at the beginner, late intermediate stage, as soon as you start playing the nice stuff in the right hand that you want to play, it's going to mess up your ability to play the left hand. So we're going to start with one note, an F. That's it. And we're only going to play it so that it doesn't mess up the left hand, even if we have to take long rests. Okay, I know this chord. Even if you're doing that. Okay? So promise me that, okay? The left hand is more important for this exercise than the right hand. Just an F here. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. D minor. Keep going. can just play the left hand alone for the next few minutes, or you can just stay on F. But if you can, add a couple more notes. Let's go F, C, F, E, D, C. Okay, any of those notes. 1, 2, the left hand's more important. Let's go the other way. Let's play the first 5 notes of the F scale. F, G, A, B flat, C. While you're keeping those chords. Chords are more important right now than the melody. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just stay with that, or you could just stay with the chords in either hand, right? So at your level, this is what I call minimum viable piano. At any stage, we want to at least be able to play the minimum that sounds good. So the chords alone would sound good in this case. Or we might want to play just 2 or 3 notes. See? Usually we try for the maximum viable piano and don't quite get there. But if you can stay with the minimum, it gives you confidence because you know it sounds good. It's pretty easy to do. What you can do comfortably. By definition, it's easy because it's what you're going to be able to do easy. And then we can build on that. You can build on that as you play. Let's try it again, and we'll trade back and forth. I'll play one sequence of 4, then you solo for 4, but you're going to keep the left hand going the whole time. I'll start. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. time that timer goes off after 20 minutes, I feel like a little kid who's like outside, you know, playing with their friends and their parents, you know, whoever says, dinner time, you gotta come in. You're like, no, just a few more minutes. So, yeah, so this is awesome, right? This chord progression, 1, 6, 2, 5, is in so many songs. And part of it is the 2, 5 and the 2, 5, 1. But this is a really great way to practice the complete cycle. It's fun. It forms a loop so that you get momentum. If you're just playing 2 5s, I find there isn't as much momentum, not as much musical momentum. And the main thing is that this is in different tunes. So you already know the 1, 6, 2, 5 in the key of F. We're going to cover it in B flat at some point. And tomorrow we're going to get back into the blues. We touched on the blues early on. We're going to go back into that in a jazz context. And the best thing is that we're developing a healthy habit, a positive, virtuous cycle of showing up, doing it, jamming, having fun, and then we get better, kind of as a byproduct of just having fun and playing, doing it a lot. So congratulations. And there's some links to click if you're interested, and some free lessons at Keyboard Improv down below. Thanks for being here, and take care.